Thanksgiving in my family is it is an epic sport celebration. Like, not sports as in like football, although that's always on TV.
Yeah.
But we do the best food, the best celebration. It is the time when everybody comes together.
Does anyone experiment on Thanksgiving?
No, no, we have our family recipes and traditions down, and there is absolutely no experimentation.
No experimenting on
No,
Thanksgiving.
absolutely not. We know exactly what we like.
So I have one of my friends, Melissa. She refuses to do turkey for Thanksgiving. Like, absolutely will not do it. Like, she's like, we'll do steaks, we'll do like whatever, but absolutely no turkey.
Does she not like turkey, or
I don't
she just
think
doesn't
so.
want to have turkey?
I don't think so. Maybe it's because I call Thanksgiving Triptofest, and she's like,
Could be. I have a sister-in-law that also does not turkey, so there's typically ham on the table as well. But, yeah. What's your favorite holiday?
New Year's.
Okay.
New Year's is my favorite holiday. First of all, I think that's any gay's favorite holiday is New Year's. It's just New Year's has always meant so much. It means like new beginnings. It means typically like with my business, what I'll do is like December, the time between Christmas and New Year's, that weird period where you have no idea what's going on.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Yes, that is my time to like reevaluate my business. It's the time to like go through all the things and, just do like the Monday morning recap. Like, that's just my time to do that. And then New Year's is just like a fresh way to start like the new year and kind of make everything better all over again. Like, it's just clean slate, a fresh start, a January 1, a new year. Like, that's just my favorite.
I this year decided that February 1st was going to be my New Year's. We go into holiday party craziness and continue holiday party craziness through January. And so February 1st I considered my New Year, because then I had a minute to slow down and kind of relax.
That is probably more accessible, I think. Hi, party animals. Party on Miranda.
Party on Ryan.
Today we are talking about an article in The Atlantic that just came out by an author named Ellen Cushing, and she poses the question, Americans need to party more, and why we are suffering from a deficit of parties, which is what is absolutely wrong with this country. We need more parties.
We absolutely need more parties.
When was can you remember the first party you ever threw?
Ooh, this is a big question. I did some pretty epic birthday parties for myself as a kid. Obviously, my mom was involved.
Sure.
I can't take all the credit, but I did love a birthday party for myself. I'm one of those like birthday week kind of people.
That is really kind of funny. So, the first party I ever planned was Thanksgiving.
My favorite holiday. That works.
Yeah, so that's the thing is, I remember I went to my grandmother was like one of 7 kids, and all of her sisters would take turns hosting Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And one of the things that I must have been 5 or 6 years old, and I went up to my grandmother and I asked her, I was like, Grandma, like, how do we decide who goes where for Thanksgiving? And she goes, well, she was like, someone typically will just kind of like call in like end of September and say, hi, I'm hosting Thanksgiving at my house, and then that's just where everyone went. So they just all kind of took turns, but it was like very informal of how the rotation kind of happened.
There was no specific
No.
Okay.
And so I asked her, I was like, can we plan Thanksgiving? And she's like, sure. And I was like, well, how do we do that? And she goes, well, go get a pen and paper. So I got a pen and paper, and she was like, well, we're going to need food. So what do you want to serve? And so we went down through the whole list and then went down all the supplies that we were going to need. And then I remember like it was yesterday, and I was like, this is really expensive.
That's where your expensive started.
It completely comes from my grandmother. What are you talking about? So then fast forward, like we're doing all the things for the party, we're going grocery shopping, we're doing all the decor and all the things that we need, and plates and tablecloths and forks and napkins and all the things, and then we're getting the house ready, and that means a deep clean. So then I'm starting to clean the house, and then I remember Thanksgiving coming around, can't sleep the night before, it might as well have been Christmas, and then you go into my family, like cut to my family all around me, and I'm like, I made this happen. This was like the coolest the coolest thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. My family parties growing up were very much core memories for me. I used to joke that if somebody broke a nail in my family, there would be a party because it felt like we were together constantly.
So I think with COVID kind of happening and everyone kind of retracting back, parties kind of don't happen anymore. When was the last party you were invited to that wasn't for work? Where there was no money exchange.
um,
Trade doesn't count either.
right. No money exchange, no trade, probably no vendor networking
Straight up
parties.
guests.
Right. I honestly don't know.
I don't remember either. I can't remember the last wedding I've been to because they're all on Saturdays and I'm working.
Right? I'm never a guest at a wedding anymore.
I think I think it was Kelly. She threw a birthday party for me and I think that was the last party that I went to.
Yeah, we just don't party like we used to.
So in the article, she talks about how Americans really kind of suffer from loneliness. And one of the things that kind of like crossed my mind was, do you know your neighbors?
Maybe two of them.
Okay. I remember growing up knowing every single person on the block.
Oh, absolutely.
And
in the entire neighborhood.
Absolutely. And I remember Halloween being like I remember Halloween covered in kids,
Yes.
like cars gonna get through, like that kind of thing. There were just kids everywhere. And I think that with the internet and hi, because you're watching this.
You're welcome.
I think that with the internet kind of happening, we are more inclined to make friends on the internet than we are in real life.
Oh, absolutely.
So that being said, I don't know my neighbors. Anytime there's like National Night Out, for some reason I'm gone. Like I just don't. I think that that's the reason why those things have happened. Funny enough, I think there was a TikTok that I saw. But what it was is this couple that has like the ultimate hack for making friends as an adult moving into a new neighborhood.
Ooh, tell me.
They were moving into their new house and they were going to do like a whole like renovation, so they ordered a dumpster twice the size of what they needed and went down the neighborhood block and said, "Hey, you know, we just moved in, we're doing some renovation, we have this dumpster, it's far too big, you know, if you want to throw anything away, I have a washer that needs to be thrown away. Like
Right.
everyone has stuff in their house that needs to be thrown away." And they ended up having a dumpster party and everyone was just just throwing their trash in their dumpster and then everyone's just having a great, like, what a community building event.
That's a fantastic way to get to know people. Absolutely. We all come and go and we go to work and then we're on our devices and we never actually take time to connect anymore. You walk outside and you see somebody and it's like, I don't know who you are, right? And trying to hurry and scurry back into the house onto your phone or whatever it is.
I mean, I have Duolingo to do. And I have my New York Times Wordle and I have connections.
Right.
Like I have things on my phone that I need.
Yeah.
That can't be an no, I'm
I have my games I have to play, okay? I don't have time to throw a party.
You mentioned this. I have no clue what this is, but it's Doug's winter party.
Yes, there was a TikTok, again, TikTok doing all the trends. An older gentleman, I think he was in his 80s. He walked around with these like handwritten party invitations to his neighbors, and one of his neighbors filmed this. She was a much younger girl. She opened the door and he said, "Hey, I have this party invitation for you." And he invited all of his neighbors to this just winter party. The best part is he said, "We're going to party until the cops show up." This 85-year-old guy.
That's so much fun.
Right.
So, like, it just was like a trend on the internet or?
Yeah, it was all over TikTok. I saw it on Instagram. And people just continued to talk about it. They wanted to go to Doug's winter party. People had their outfits planned and like celebrities were wanting to send him things.
What?
Yeah.
Gosh, please, celebrities, send us stuff.
Please.
Do you ever see Drag Race, the Vivian? I love Chanel.
I'll take some Prada, please.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so we as a society, like, we could use more of this, right? Like, we could absolutely, I think being in the events industry, when I think I'm going to throw a party, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, who am I going to have cater it? Who am I going to have do this? Who am I going to have do that? And then all of a sudden it becomes this thing where it's costing me thousands of dollars, when in reality...
Girl, my party like 2 days ago at my house was
Oh,
a
I
lot.
know. I know. Because that's what we do, right?
Yes.
So it feels like we have to. But in reality, if I invite a couple of friends over for a game night and, somebody orders pizza and somebody brings over some drinks,
Potluck. That
absolutely.
was a thing like back in the day. I remember, again, my grandmother used to throw a party for anything. I mean,
Sure.
literally, I lost a tooth, we had a party. Like,
Right?
like everyone come over. But I think that was also just like the mentality. Now everyone is just like getting on a plane and has to be somewhere, and no one's just as accessible as they are. And one thing I will say about friendships, period, is you really do have to work at them.
You
And
do.
also, in the article, she talks about how these parties just aren't going to magically happen. Like, you have to like make them happen. Like, you have to be the change. And I think that's the big thing here is I love the TikTok trend of people doing board parties. So they'll do like a charcuterie
I love
board
it.
and a candy board and like a spicy board, and like someone did like a soup board or whatever. Like, I think those things are just any excuse to like bring people together. And I think our problem is we have such a high expectation for ourselves that we expect all the things to be, you know, grand and crazy, and
Right.
there was pyro at my party.
Yeah, if somebody's coming to my house for a party, it has to look a certain way, right? Because
Yeah,
it's what we do.
yeah.
And so it feels hard to. Like, I throw a Christmas party for a bunch of friends every year. We do a white elephant. My husband cooks dinner. It's amazing. Um, but I feel this pressure to make it look a certain way, especially because most of these friends are in the event industry as
Mm,
well. And honestly, nobody cares. We're all tired at that
no.
point. December has kicked our butts, and we just want to get together and connect. But here I am, the day of the party, like putting balloons on the ceiling and trying to make it look a certain way because that's the expectation.
So that's the thing I think that we need to have in the back of our heads is let's just pick one thing. Like, let's pick one thing to do, whether it's like a balloon arch or, some piece of decor. There's a girl on TikTok, she like refuses to pay people to do the decor for her, and her whole thing is making it out of like craft stuff.
Okay.
So for like Super Bowl, I'm sure she's spending thousands of dollars on supplies to do
On her
something
craft
that she
items?
yeah,
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
do whatever. So the whole thing here is, I think, is to pick one thing. So you pick one thing to do, whether that's a balloon arch, whether you go a little bit crazier on food, whether you do crazier like games or spend some money like there. Pick the one thing that you think would be the most impactful, and then call it. Like, that's
Sure.
really not what. That's another thing that. So I just did a party at my house. It was kind of massive for no reason, and I like did projectors and there was pyro and there's LED lights everywhere, and I brought in like a giant Connect 4, and there's like crazy furniture, and never mind the fire pit and like all the things. Like, it was a lot, and I did not enjoy myself. Like,
You were so stressed
I
out.
did not enjoy myself. And I think that everyone has been in this situation where they are throwing a party. And that's another thing is it's the love language.
Right.
It's as the host, I want everyone to have a drink. I want everyone to have food. Do you have everything you need? And you're stressing out, like making sure. And I had help. Like, I had people like helping me like with everything, and it still was stressful. So I think that if I would have a just chilled out for one.
What?
No kidding. Oh, my high blood pressure thing's on. Hold on for a second.
Need to just take a breath.
Right.
That's fine.
So, but that's the thing is, I think that if I would have just removed some of the pressure, there was a glam bot at the party. Like,
Well,
it was
listen, again,
massive.
it's what we do,
This
right?
is.
So it does feel like there's this expectation, but I do like that idea of just dialing it back. Pick the one thing that feels like it will be impactful.
So, whenever it is just my real friends at the house and we're chilling out, like I did it for Super Bowl. I had a few people over. I made really great food, really great food. I enjoyed it because it was the one thing that I was going to do. One of my friends, he's pre-diabetic and the poor thing, but he ended up saying he had a bad doctor's appointment and he wanted to eat healthier. So I was like, great, I love a challenge. Creativity comes from constraint.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the
Mhm.
TikTok. Creativity comes from constraint. And the great thing is now I'm like, okay, now I have like a directive. Like, I have like a thing to like go off of. So I did chicken kebabs with bell pepper, onions, and just grilled chicken, a little olive
Delish.
oil, salt and pepper. That was it. And they were like, "Oh my god, like you went all out." I'm like, I mean, I really didn't, but I also know that me on a bad day is.
Right. There's also that perception, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like you on a bad day is still Chanel.
yeah.
Right? Like it's not like you're going to the thrift store on the bad day.
Well, I don't know.
And
Maybe
even if you are, that's okay.
no, maybe so. But and like that's another thing that I think that we like wanted to like touch on it a little bit is truly like the little moments. And
Absolutely.
like whenever you are feeling a certain way, you want to break out the champagne on a good day. Break out the champagne on a bad day.
Yeah.
Like on a bad day is when you really need it because you're already feeling high on the good day. Like what are you gonna do whenever you're down? Just watch TV and have popcorn or whatever. Like like
Right. I think we're in this society, we're in this moment where with social media and everything, it feels like it has to be perfect, right? And if I am meeting my expectation, I am just doing that. My expectation for myself is perfection. And so if I am just meeting that expectation, okay, great, move on to the next thing. As opposed to forgetting to celebrate that you did it, right? Like you had this moment and you did it and it was wonderful and it was perfect. And just because it's what you expect of yourself doesn't make it any less valuable.
yeah. So the challenge: throw more parties. These things aren't going to happen by themselves. I think that if you even have just like a small get together at the house, the Oscars are coming up. Who doesn't love to go to an
I
Oscar party?
love an Oscar
And so
party.
this is another thing. This is why I like New Year's, is because I love throwing parties on New Year's because everyone wants something to do on New Year's,
Right.
and no one has anywhere to go. Granted, I live in Vegas. There are plenty of places to go on New Year's, and if you're going to be in New Year's, this is probably one of the best places in the world to be just because of all the fireworks. But in other cities, that's not exactly the case. But throw the party, do the thing,
Yeah, not everybody wants that big thing either, right? And just remember, again, it doesn't have to be massive. Like, throw a little party for your kids or just invite a couple of friends over and have some drinks and say, somebody grab some pizza on the way. And
Well, grab ice is usually the thing that I'm saying, but
sure.
we ran out of
We ran out of
mixers.
ice.
There was like 5 trips to the grocery store.
There were. You were out of pineapple juice there for a minute.
I
It
was
was
told.
very
I was
sad.
told. Don't let Martha know. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It's our first episode.
Right? Tell us what you thought.
It's happened. So one of the things that we're gonna do is we're gonna clap out. Party's over.
Party's over,
See
kids.
you next week. Johnny, was that okay for you? Did you read the Atlantic article?
No.
Tell,